This weekend, we've seen so many celebrities of boxing here and also so many prize fighting champions. It's been a weekend of wonderful memories, storytelling, and most of all, honoring our 2011 class of inductees. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you very much, Susan. Our next inductee was a two-sport star growing up, but he found out that his best talents were actually being a teacher. He was born in West Virginia, grew up in North Carolina. He later attended West Carolina University on a basketball scholarship. He moved to Opelika, Florida after college to be near his father, who was in the military. His early amateur boxing career consisted of backyard brawls with anyone who would put on a pair of boxing gloves. But in 1955, he was invited to try his first official amateur fight against champion Jack Kearns, who was the son of the legendary promoter Doc Kearns. After a few amateur bouts, he began an amazing 14-year pro boxing career, racking up 113 wins, 22 losses, and 7 draws. He retired from the ring in 1970 and decided to embark on a career as a boxing teacher. For 25 years, he taught hundreds of amateurs as director of amateur boxing for the Miami-Dade County Parks and Recreation Department. He retired in 2003, but he remains active to this day, finding sponsorships for a number of young fighters who are looking up to move in the ranks. He was elected to the Gold Coast Boxing Hall of Fame in 1996. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, class of 2011, trainer and teacher, Dwayne Simpson.
Handsome devil, handsome devil. Don't worry, I'm not going to be here too long. I have to go number one. I want to say, I'm 77 years old, and I've been in boxing for roundabout boxing for 60 years. And I'm being inducted as a trainer. I prefer teacher because there's many trainers that can get you in shape and tell you what punches to throw, but the teachers of sweet science are a rare breed. And we're fading away, and in my case, I'm starting to smell that way. Last year, I attended the Boxing Hall of Fame, mostly on curiosity because I thought it could be some Mickey Mouse affair. But I had 5 friends that were being honored, and I wanted to speak for them, something personal things. But when I came up, I was just overwhelmed. And it was a fabulous affair that Butch and Kathy put on. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And then, I don't know, a few months ago, I got a call and said I was elected to the Box Hall of Fame, and I said, I thought it was a friend put me on. I said, yeah, tell me about Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, you know, and it happened to be Butch. And then when he convinced me, I was very humble and very proud. If you wouldn't mind, real quick, I'd like to recognize some of my family. First, my wife of 33 years, Judy, who I'd like to say that she's probably one of the main reasons I'm here, because I never was wrapped too tight and kind of wild up until a couple of days ago. But she straightened me out, and I think I'll probably live for another 2 or 3 months. But anyway, I just want to say thank you, honey, and I love you. And then there's my famous and loving and favorite mother-in-law, Connie. She's the only one. Oh. Anyway, she's 90 years old. I put some boxing gloves on her and put her in the the silent auction, but there was no bid, so I guess I got to take her home. You know. She's throwing her fist now. Boy, I know I could take her out with one shot. I'd like to introduce my 4 kids by my first wife, who divorced me after 10 years. She passed away in 1987. She was a beauty queen, a model. She had an IQ of 140, and mine was 40, so maybe that's the reason that she... But anyway, I'd like to recognize Sherry, Guy, Paige, and Dawn. Dawn couldn't be here. There was 1 year between Guy and Paige because I had my first pair of pajamas and I wore them backwards for a year. Oh, by the way, Judy has an IQ of 145 and mine's 45 now, so I can improve, you know what I mean? You can too, especially you boxers. I have 4 of my 6 grandchildren here. It's the lovely Marissa and her boyfriend Brian, Josh and his wife Lindsay, Justin and his wife Mindy, and my beautiful little Shelley. God love her, bless her, and keep her. Woo! Anyway, who's not here is a grandson, that's Zachariah, who's 19 years old, and lives in Israel. He's on the front line of the Israeli army. There's Jesus, the greatest fighter that I've ever known. He's been fighting muscular dystrophy for 25 years. I'm tough, I'm not crying. The doctor said he'd never live to be 20. He turned 34 this month. And he's still fighting. God bless him. You know, I saw Eddie Eckert here. God love him. He worked about 40 or 50 of my fights, or he wouldn't let me scratch her eyes out or anything. Did he leave, Eddie? There was a really funny story, the oddity of the year in Ring Magazine in 1964, and both of us took part in it, but I haven't got time for that because Smitty took up too much time last night. But I did box pro for 14 years, and I turned pro in 1956. I was 5'11" and weighed 138 pounds. Awesome. I looked like death eating a cheese cracker. My important assets was I could run backwards faster than I could forward. And the only way you hit me is with a tennis racket, and they weren't allowed in the ring. Dr. Ferdy Pacheco called me the king of the 4-rounders, and it's true because I had over 100 4-round fights because I wouldn't fight anybody that could hit hard or I thought could beat me for the main reason. And like in Little River, I know they mentioned about Eddie, in Little River Arena, they run 1 show a week for 7 years. Pan American Arena run 1 show a week for 2 years. And then Angelo and Chris, or mainly Chris, promote and run the shows at Miami Beach 2 or 3 times a month for 15, 20, 30, 40 years. So I know one time I fought 5 times in 10 days, so I didn't have to train, you know. So in Ferdy's book, his last book, he called me a good pro trainer and a humorous cracker. What is a cracker anyway? Maybe some of you North Florida people know. Oh, anyway. I later trained professional fighters for about 10 years. I had 15. I had 7 who got Ring Magazine's World Prospect of the Month, which ain't too shabby. But the main way that I contribute to my existence is the 14 or 15,000 kids that we put through our program in 25 years that we taught the basic fundamentals of boxing, which I never got. All I did was run and try to survive. We had champions on the amateur level, on the local, state, regional, national. We even had a couple of international champions. We did pretty good with the amateurs, and we didn't try to be a farm team for the pros either, but we did develop 3 world champions, 3 that were ranked #1 in the world and fought for world championships. We also had 4 or 5 that were ranked in the top 10 in the world. I want to thank you for this great honor. I really appreciate it, and God bless you.
Hey. Come on over here.
Well, Dwayne, there's actually one more real quick story that we got to throw in here before we move on. I was talking to Dwayne, and he told me that back several years ago when he was a younger man, somebody walked up to him and said, "You know, you look just like that actor, Paul Newman." And he looked at him with a strange look and said, "That's funny. I always thought I looked like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine." Congratulations, Dwayne.